Hello, YouTube peoples. I am Insane Lane, and after a brief hiatus, well, not so brief, I'm back with Body Cam Reacts. We're not going live just yet, but hopefully sometime in the near future. But there have been a few videos in the past week that I just cannot keep my mouth shut about, quite frankly. This one I have seen reviewed on a few other channels. A couple of them I was in the chat, and out of hundreds and hundreds of people, I was the only one saying the cops were doing anything wrong here. And in fact, I got pushed back at quite hard and called some not so good names for saying that the woman in this video is completely in the right, the cops are completely in the wrong, and that what the cops do about it is wrong, and that they seem to know that by the end. Now, I invite you to watch along, watch the video for yourself. Consider what I'm saying, consider your own opinion, and leave your thoughts in the comments. I always like back and forth. So please enjoy and please understand I am not a lawyer. I am not a cop. I've never worked in law enforcement. I am Canadian. This is an American police body cam video. So I understand there are some differences between the way our two cultures handle things in terms of law and in terms of policing. And I am by no means saying that you would not see body cams like this from where I am from, because that would be completely untrue. But consider this for what it is, as all body cam reacts on this channel will be. This is my opinion based on my life, my experience, my education, and my thoughts on modern day things and how police should and should not handle things. I'm going to say this now, nobody's going to believe me, but I am not one of those ACAB people that thinks, and I had to ask somebody last night what this meant. Apparently it stands for all cops are bad. I do not believe that. I believe some cops are bad. I also, and I think this is much more the critical problem, I think police training is severely outdated and has become very warped and very toxic in a lot of places. Anything involving the warrior training, oh dear God, don't get me started. But I see bigger problems than just a few bad apples. That's too simple an explanation when it comes to things like this, as we're about to see. Saying that it's a few bad actors is just not good enough, because what we're about to see is three cops all making the same mistakes and backing each other up making those mistakes, and that is not a case of bad apples. That is bad training, that's lack of accountability, that's lack of oversight, and it's quite, as we're about to see, I think there's a degree of power tripping and ego involved here, but we'll get to that. So what am I yammering on about for 3 minutes now? This. Let's see, do you agree? Do you disagree? What would you have done? What do you think that anyone involved here, whether it's the woman or the cops, should have done differently? Leave your thoughts in the comments. Here we go.
Wow. They called the cops because I want to get cigarettes and water?
Hold on, Stephanie, relax. Wait right here, okay?
They just told me to go inside and go in a room.
Listen,
Yeah.
I had them call you so I could talk to you.
What are you talking about?
Why are you being so aggressive right now?
Because she called me and it pissed me
I
off.
told you.
You asked me a question, then you don't let me finish?
Relax. Get the fuck out of my face.
Get the
Okay. We already have problem number one. This woman is clearly upset. Okay? So you need to have a little empathy right now. They're at for anyone who didn't catch it, they're at a veterinary clinic. She's there about her dog. If you have a pet, you know when your pet is sick or your pet is hurt, people can get upset. Now, is this woman upset? Not really. She's kind of being loud, but what I don't like is the cop said, "Get out of my effing face." Okay, the cop is the professional in this situation. I'm always going to hold to this standard. Police officers are paid and supposedly trained professionals, meaning they need to act like it. Okay, this woman is coming up trying to talk to her. The cop doesn't get to say, "Get the F out of my face," when she's trying to talk to you. So already this female cop is completely out of line. She's unprofessional, and she's clearly escalating the situation. And this woman is right. The cop asked her a question, didn't let her answer it. And she's also saying the vet's office just called and told her to come in. Now, that is because the cops requested that the vet's office do so, but the vet's office didn't say that. They just said, "Come in." So she's arriving thinking there's probably a problem with her dog. And now the cops are there and they're preventing her from going to deal with her dog. And a female officer is saying, "Get out of my face," when at the same time addressing this woman and asking her questions. Well, which would you like? Do you want me to answer you, or do you want me to get out of your face?
you
relax.
approached me.
Yes,
Okay.
she did.
Why?
Alright, your
So
dog
funny.
is fine, okay?
Okay, all right.
Okay.
Please,
Thank
get
you
your
for
ego
telling her.
out. Tell me how
She's right.
you're in charge and I'm just a little.
Mhm.
Okay. Here, does that make you feel big because you're so short?
Mhm.
Stand up. What is your problem?
Because there's no reason for this. And then
She's
she
right.
walks up like a fucking asshole.
Right, because you're very amped up.
Why did they
Okay,
call?
don't
I
back
want
up
my- I
bad
wanna make sure-
behavior. Okay, now we have a second female cop backing up the first cop's bad behavior here. I don't care that this woman is amped up. I would be too. The fact that somebody is being loud or they're animated, I'm Italian, I talk with my hands all the flippin' time. That is not a reason to then engage on that level. Again, you're supposed to be the professional. Tone it down. If someone is up here, don't shout back at them. Lower your voice, talk calmly, softly, reasonably, and try to get them to come down. Because you need to be the calm one and handle things reasonably because they're upset right now, understandably. They're worried about their dog. Thank you. First cop, I will give her a point for saying your dog is okay. Thank you for that. But second cop, you need to back off now because you're backing up first cop's bad behavior. And now you're trying to blame her for what the other officer shouldn't have done. And you're trying to say that you're responding to her being amped up with being amped up. Well, that's the wrong response. It's not going to help anything, and you need to do better.
Well, I don't know. This is a fucking emergency room for fucking my dog just choking and dying in front of my face.
Deep breath.
Yeah.
Is your dog
Okay, so now we
I
know
don't
the
know.
dog
That's
had a
you guys are
choking
preventing me from
incident.
being in the room with him.
Here's what we're gonna do. Okay, we'll go in
Please
there.
let me know. What? Are you gonna arrest me because I wouldn't get cigarettes and water and I'm angry and I'm rude? You can't do that. So, am I?
Okay, she's right. They can't arrest her for being angry and rude. And she is completely right when she said earlier that the cop is having an ego trip. They don't like the way that she is talking to them. Too damn bad.
Am I being detained because I'm about to walk?
No, you are. You are.
I am being
You
detained.
are because.
See, I know the law. My sister is a cop. Okay,
I
so
wonder
they
if that's
cannot-
true.
I didn't do
I
anything
can
wrong.
detain you because
What
you're
did I do wrong,
disorderly
sir?
conduct here.
So I think under that.
That's disorderly
so,
conduct.
So
What
So you're
is?
being detained for that.
For freedom of speech?
You can't yell and make cause disorderly
Yes, I
conduct like that.
can.
No, you cannot. Not if they want her arrested, because then I'll put cuffs on this lady.
Okay, now is where I have a massive problem with this cop. We have cop number 3 now. Not one of them has tried to de-escalate at all. And now he is literally looking for an excuse to arrest her. Several things here. He's claiming she's being disorderly, I assume in public. The cops are the only ones here. They're in the middle of a deserted parking lot. She's not disturbing anyone but them. Now, they're saying that she had caused a disturbance in the vet's office earlier. However, we don't see that at all. There's no video of that from either inside the vet clinic. There's no video of this officer's body cam either talking to someone at the vet clinic or seeing video of her doing anything there. So whether she did or did not raise her voice or cause a scene at the vet clinic prior to this and then had clearly left, I don't know. We don't know that. But if the cops had a reason to arrest her for that, they would have already done so. The second she walked up, they knew her name. They called her by name. They probably got that from the vet's office because they're going to have her name because it's her dog. If they had an existing reason to arrest her, if she had done anything worthy of arrest inside the vet clinic that the cops are already aware of because they were waiting when she arrived, they would have just immediately arrested her for that. They don't have a reason to arrest her. They know it. The vet's clinic has every right to have her trespassed and leave their property. If they don't want her back, that's fine. But what he just asked was, do they want her arrested? And that's not okay. Because the only reason he's doing that is he doesn't like her attitude. He doesn't like what he's hearing, so he's making up an excuse to do something he shouldn't do. And the fact that all 3 of them, like, I can see the blonde cop's face right now, and she is way too smug. Like, they all know what they're doing. This person is offending them personally, so they're going to abuse their authority to put her in her place, basically. It's what she said from the beginning. This is an ego trip, and now we have 3 cops absolutely out of line and all just making it worse by doubling down on the previous one's behavior. And now he's about to arrest her because he doesn't like her attitude and absolutely nothing else. And I also point out, he's the first one to tell her she's actually being detained. Because prior to this, she wasn't. She was perfectly free to walk away. And I will also point out, the cops had the vet's office call her and ask her to come back. which kind of makes the trespassing thing sus for me because she had already left. She only came back at their request.
Okay, call my sister. You cannot detain
I don't
me
care
for
about your
this.
sister.
Look, sir.
I
That's
can
fair.
detain
He
you.
doesn't
You
have
are
to
upstairs
care
right
who
now.
her sister
I'm
is.
just really upset about
He
my
has
dog.
the right to
I get it.
detain her.
Calling me to the police station when all I want is to be with my dog. How is that?
You need to relax.
Okay, you need to relax, officer. You're
I'm not making
shouting.
you upset. You are making you upset. You are.
Okay, no. I'm sorry. He is making her upset right now because he's escalating now. He's loud. He's towering over her and pointing. She's obviously distressed and she's telling them she's worried about her dog, dude. If you don't understand that, maybe you've never had a pet, but there's something wrong with you if you don't get how people are about their pets. And at this point, the cops are just antagonizing her. The cops are the ones who need to calm down here. If they would keep it calm and talk to her reasonably, I'm sure they could get her to calm down. They could let her see that her dog's fine, and none of this has to happen. See, this cop doesn't want to be right now. He just wants to be obeyed. He wants her to do what he says without question, even if what he's saying is ridiculous and he's causing his own problem right here.
Yes. Then shut up.
Okay, that's
The
not
vet
how you
tells an
talk to
officer they want
someone.
her arrested for disorderly conduct.
That's not their decision.
Hands on your back. Under arrest.
No.
Okay, I'm not taking the voiceover's word on that. I want to see it. And I'm sorry, if she's being disorderly, the cops didn't see it. Unless there's proof, I don't think they have cause to arrest her. They can trespass her and ask her to leave, which they haven't done. And, like, you'll see how this shakes out in the end, but this is absolutely ridiculous. I don't believe for a second that they have probable cause here, but they're claiming that they're arresting her for being disorderly in the vet's office, or at least that is what was just said. As you'll see, that's not true.
You're done. You're done.
Okay, please.
Now you're under arrest.
My dog. I bet you guys feel so good about this, taking me away from my dog.
All right, we're gonna walk back here.
My dog. You guys are arresting me.
Yes, which they shouldn't be
Stop
doing.
calling me. I'm clearly walking
Relax.
fine. Why do you guys have to have such a fucking ego?
Why do you have to have such a problem?
Because my dog's in the vet dying.
Then just relax.
Oh, just relax
We
while
wouldn't
your
be in this
dog
Okay,
dies.
that's like the most lack of empathy statement ever.
You're like, okay, she's. Oh,
Yeah,
bring her
just
down.
relax while you believe that your dog is dying. No.
You would just
I'm
be
gonna
quiet.
shut up.
Okay,
Just stop
see,
pushing
nope,
me.
shut up, lady. Shut up.
Stop pushing me.
This cop needs to shut her mouth. I'm sorry. I hate when police give lectures, with rare exception. You're not the judgment police. You're not the morality or
We're not
ethics
doing that
police
after
or
all
the
that.
telling people
You
how
can
to
figure
live their
that- You
lives
can figure that out later.
police. See, now they're just being mean.
You're not getting anything from us.
Shut up. Like, you have no power over me. Just 'cause I'm in handcuffs.
Climb in.
I mean, if I were her, I don't know, I'd still be running my mouth.
Push your chest out a
I
little
probably
more.
would, honest to God, because if you're already going to arrest me, then yeah, I'm going to have my say, but
But just why were
Admit
so
she's
many
not helping
officers
her own
waiting for her
appearance
outside
here.
a vet's clinic? That twist will soon be revealed.
And then you guys are just gonna fucking laugh about this later.
I fully agree with her that they are.
I was arrested for freedom of speech. This is fucking crazy, dude. This is crazy. Freedom of speech, and I got detained. You're not allowed to do that at all. I did, like, you.
There are exceptions to freedom of speech.
You really think you're doing something
Can't yell
good
fire
here?
in a
You
crowded
feel good
theater.
about your life?
Can't be
good
cursing on like an
people do.
elementary
You-
school
like, what the fuck
playground.
Did you help out today?
Can't make
Oh,
threats.
serious. You just fucking
So
taking
there
a
are
person that's
limitations
just
on free
clearly
speech,
upset
but
because
I
their
didn't see her
dog
do
is-
anything that violated those.
So you take me away from my
Yeah, I just see somebody who is upset, who is distressed, and is having a rough day. And instead of being met with any kind of empathy or understanding or any kind of professionalism of any kind, she just got bullied by 3 people who wanted to flex their authority.
Prove it.
We have witnesses.
Yeah.
And,
And maybe I
you know,
needed a
you want to
little
say
bit
she's
of
not helping herself, true.
somebody to be nice to me.
But I'm sorry,
But you
why do
guys
I have
just
to be
approach
nice
me
to
so
you and
mean.
defer to your
Sometimes
bullying
you
just
just
so you
need
don't continue to
Somebody
bully
be
me?
nice to them. It's like you
Giving
took
into
me
bullies
from
is
a
never a good idea. It doesn't
child.
work on the playground and it doesn't work in
You
real
can't
life.
arrest somebody for
However, as a
words.
society, we
You
do
know
seem to
that,
have
right,
made
ma'am?
exceptions
Hey,
for that,
officer,
in
what
that
is your
if you are
badge number?
wearing a certain
45,
uniform of
what is
certain
it?
professions, and I don't just mean cops, I can totally extend this to so many other professions.
it's against the law not
I
that
did. If
people
you
shouldn't be
stop
held
talking
accountable
over me and stop
because
yelling,
they're in a position where we've given them authority and
I
therefore
already
they're
told you what
always
it is.
right.
You said it quietly.
And
so
not
no,
my fault.
authority
You're
needs
that.
constant
something against
oversight
the law.
Okay.
because
I
the
said
second you
can't
stop
arrest me,
having
Pat, and you guys
oversight,
went,
you will have
she
abuse
could
of
say it.
authority.
Now
It's
we have to
absolute
arrest
power
her.
corrupts
That's exactly
absolutely.
what happened.
No one's
you
above
didn't
it.
like that I knew the fucking law because my sister's a cop and I could fucking say whatever I want. Freedom of
She
speech. And you
absolutely,
decide to
you can
describe it
say
as something you
almost
can arrest
whatever
me
you
for.
want.
That is against the law. Is this all unrecorded?
Sure is.
Now,
Yeah.
do I think this meets the definition of
I'm
like
not
a
gonna
legally
bow
false
down to you
arrest?
just 'cause
No.
you're fucking
Not that I
out
would
of
know
it,
how to
dude.
define
But,
that
like,
in
being
full,
rude
but
is not against the fucking law.
this
And you're
is
still
pretty
arresting me
close.
for that.
This lady's still right. Her being rude is not a crime.
The dog. He's laughing at my fucking dog. No, just leave him there. let's make her fucking pay
Now, they say
thousands more.
something about they think that she might be drunk. However, I've not seen this in full. This is the first time I'm watching it entirely in full. I've seen the beginning. Now we're getting to the rest. I've seen the end. I skipped through the middle a little bit because I knew I wanted to react to it.
In 10 years, you will not be.
Okay, so they've accused her of being drunk. Now, let me say a couple things. They saw her driving when she pulled up, and yes, she pulled in very fast and did not park very well at all. So I get that they can reasonably have some suspicion that she may be driving under the influence. However, we're a little less than halfway through this video. I know I talk too much. For anyone who's going to say I talk too much, I pause too much, welcome to this channel. That is what you get. You don't like it? Don't be here. Thank you. Please leave a thumbs up on your way out. But there has to be construction where I'm recording right now, of course. But if they're concerned that she is driving drunk, why haven't they said that before now? Why didn't they immediately address that? If they can say smell alcohol, I hear that all the time. You can smell alcohol on people. Sometimes true. Or they could say she's slurring her words, which she's not. Or she was wobbly on her feet, which she's not. So now all of a sudden we have somebody mention FTLs, which is field sobriety tests. Never ever agree to them. They're complete garbage. There's a tab in my Discord that will explain why. But now they're saying they think she's drunk. She's claiming she has not done drugs or alcohol in 10 years, which makes me wonder if she is a recovering person or maybe she just, partied hard young and decided that's not for me. Some people do that. But I don't see her showing any signs of intoxication. And again, if they thought she was driving drunk, address that at the car. As soon as she pulled in, you're like, ma'am, you just pulled in kind of erratically and you didn't park very well. I'm concerned you may be intoxicated. Will you do some field sobriety tests for me? That's a reason. Okay? That's an actual reason to arrest her. That's an actual reason to detain her. They didn't do that. They didn't do that. Which makes me think it's complete BS. I think they are at this point looking to make up an actual reason that they've arrested her. They're fishing at this point is what it's called. Because I think they know what they have ain't going to stick and they're trying to bulk it up any way they can. Because as we will see, nothing comes of this. They say a couple times they think she's drunk. They mention field sobriety. Nothing comes of this. Now, this is edited, this part of the video, and her time in jail, so there may be things cut out.
Put your shoes right there.
Perhaps they
stand
did
right there.
address it at some point, and they just didn't show it. But if you're, again, if that's a real
You didn't ask me anything.
reason,
Are you kidding me?
why wouldn't you show it?
Like, I'm gonna how much do you guys jack off to this the power?
She is just completely running her mouth at this point.
Didn't even do anything wrong. Just because you didn't like them and they stood up.
Which again,
Can't arrest me for that.
you have every right to do that. Are people going to judge you for it? Yes.
And you
The officer just referenced Stephanie's behavior at the vet that caused her arrest. The report indicates she entered the hospital highly
Okay,
intoxicated
this is
and
the first we're
aggressive
seeing.
while cussing at employees.
Okay, here's the thing. We're getting this written on a report. We're not seeing it. We're not seeing body cam of somebody telling this to the officer. I'm not saying they didn't, but I'm saying where is it? And who is the person at the vet clinic that's saying she's intoxicated? How would they know? Did you see her drinking? Are you an expert? This is what I'm saying. If the cops are just taking somebody else's word for it and not verifying it themselves, then that does not count. You cannot say to a judge, oh, somebody else told me she was drunk. But no, I didn't confirm it myself because somebody else told it to me and I wrote it down. These are the things I have a problem with. if you have a real case here, then where is your proof? Why can't you prove it? Why am I not seeing what you are saying? Because we all know reports, there's a long distance between what somebody actually says. There's several stages. There's what actually happened. There's each person's version of what happened. None of these are going to line up. People are going to disagree. Everybody's got their own version of the truth. Then you're telling it to a third, fourth, or fifth party where communication is always the weakest, words are the weakest form of communication. So then this cop or whoever's taking the report or 911 operator, they have to interpret what you're saying. Then they're writing their own version of what you said. And then somebody else is writing a version of that based off their version. So things can get miscommunicated and messed up is all that I'm saying about that, which is why I much prefer to see witness statements on body cam, because then I can hear for myself what they actually said, as opposed to taking somebody else's and possibly somebody else's of that person's written account of what somebody told them, if you see what I am saying. So I'm not accusing anyone of lying or falsifying anything. I'm just saying we didn't see it, and I would be much better if we had.
Before the police arrived, Stephanie left to go get water from a convenience store, which explains
that's my
why
point. She
officers
left.
were ready for her by the time she returned. That isn't nearly the end of Stephanie's behavior, however, as
Okay,
you're about
she
to
left
see her
the
actions
place.
at the police station get
So
wild.
if they wanted her cited for trespassing, they could have done that, and they could have mailed her a trespass warning or something.
So,
Listen,
just get the video recording so I can use it in court.
when I take this handcuff off,
Dude, shut up.
And-
Just take them off.
hands on the wall.
Well, yeah, no all right?
Oh, I'm so scared.
Okay, she's not helping herself here, I admit, but
Ooh, she's a little crazy. She just needed somebody to be nice to her, but you come up to her so rude, and I'm all gonna be rude back.
I tried.
no, you did not.
Listen,
Stop
I
moving so can
fully
take your
agree with
hand
her.
off.
You didn't try to be nice to her at all. And the way she just cranked her arm, I'm sorry. There's 3 of you there. She's not doing anything. You are failing to take them off properly because
She's
it's.
making it tired because
She
she's
keep
angry.
moving.
She likes pain. I mean, I like pain, so it doesn't faze me.
This
Make
would
it tired.
definitely be me. I would just be saying whatever because I don't care and you're pissing me off.
No, you take it off. Take it off. No, you take it off. There you go. Good girl. Like that.
Your bracelet's too, please.
This is cuts from when I was trying to revive my. You guys took me from. Oh, why are you upset? My dog's dying. Why are you upset? My dog's dying. No, oh, we don't get it.
Yeah, it sounds like she says later like her dog swallowed something or he ate something that he shouldn't have and he was choking on it. That's why she was like freaking out and rushing him to the vet.
You take them off.
Hey, we need you to take your boots off.
No. I'm taking them off. You take them off.
Get your foot out of my face.
You don't.
Okay, that wasn't in your face, lady. Like, is she being a brat right now? Yes. Do I understand why? Yes. Am I making an excuse for her behavior? No. But you want the lady to take her boots off? How about A, you say, come sit over here because taking boots off standing is quite a precarious thing. I would say the odds of falling are pretty good, especially if they think that she's intoxicated. Again, I don't. But being emotional can also make you somewhat look like you're intoxicated. If you understand what I'm saying. You can be erratic and kind of disoriented and unfocused because you're heightened emotionally. It can also be hard to control yourself physically. Like if you've ever had an adrenaline rush, that twitchy shaking thing or like too much coffee, you can't control that. So, and as for the cop smacking her foot down, questionable, but her foot wasn't in your face. Chill out. Like it always bugs me when I see cops being aggressive when they're in the police station for flip's sake. Like, I know that you're trained to constantly be on alert and hypervigilant and quite frankly paranoid, but you're in a police station. There's 2 other cops right there. There's probably 20 other cops in the building. Like, if you don't feel safe enough to just be calm and do your job professionally in the police station with backup, heavily armed backup right there, then you are the problem. You very much are the problem, because if you can't be calm and professional right now, right here, your attitude is 100% the problem because you're like this all the time.
Scary, bro.
We're gonna
I'm
set
doing
her
it.
down over
Listen,
here.
hey, I'm doing it. I'm sorry.
Okay, this is the first person
gonna stop.
This is the first time I'm seeing someone do a
But
reasonable
I'll do it.
thing.
Okay,
I will.
I'm not
sorry.
kidding.
I know.
Okay, the next time this happens, you're going in cuffs, you're going to county.
Okay,
You
don't
understand?
threaten. Okay, I need an explanation. What is this? What is this, officer? What? That she wouldn't take her boots off? Then sit her down and take them off. Don't threaten to escalate and now send somebody to a county jail because you cannot do the most basic thing of making somebody take their jacket and their boots off so you can put them in a cell to wait for a few hours till you release them. If you are not capable of that, you do not deserve to be wearing a badge or doing this job because you clearly are incompetent. But he's a big guy, so he's again doing the pointing and the towering and the, very condescending, disrespectful routine. But now he's added threatening to it, and I'm not okay with that. I'm not okay whenever cops threaten to escalate charges or to escalate force because of somebody running their mouth. Or in this case, not taking her boots off, which I get she's not allowed to have them in the cell. Fine. Ask her to sit down, take the boots off her calmly and reasonably. There is a way to handle this that does not require this. Either the attitude or the threatening. And I was literally saying this cop was on the verge of being reasonable because he took her hand because she is unhandcuffed, so I don't have a problem with him holding on to her. But he was trying to get her to come and sit and deal with the boots. But he didn't like what she said. So he lost his patience again and is now doing this.
Take your
I'm
shoes
just
off.
upset. And I have a lot of mental
Take your
health.
shoes off.
It's just, I shouldn't be here.
I agree,
This
she
is
shouldn't be
just
here.
My vagina when I have my period. I don't know why it's in my shoe. Can I throw it away?
Yeah, you can throw that away. Or
I will say the dog probably put that in her shoe. I find dog toys and cat toys in my shoes all the time. And by the way, a dog or a cat toy is anything they get their mouths on that they can lift, carry, whack, or
No.
like smack around.
Okay.
That's what you find in your shoes. I found so many fuzzy mice in my shoes and under the sheet.
What do I have to do here? Like, can I just make a phone call and pay money or something? I just sort.
See, nobody's explaining to her what's going on.
All right.
Then explain.
While we do our paperwork and everything, you just have to sit in there for us, okay? Would you like a blanket for stay warm, okay? Do you want
Do
a
you
blanket?
wash them?
These are
That's
brand
a
new
reasonable
babies,
question.
So I just need you to go in there, okay?
I'm actually
Just go
impressed
in
that
there
they
and
have
sit in
brand
there.
new blankets for each person. I'm sure it's a health and safety thing.
Well, the
But
more you're cooperative,
good on them
the
for
less
doing
we'll
it.
hold you out
I'm just
here.
gonna be sitting in there, so it's not like I can be uncooperative. Just stop. I'm talking to him right now. Please.
Your dog's okay.
How do you?
Okay, this is, again, this cop is now being reasonable. He is talking to her reasonably. He's talking to her calmly. He's explaining what is going on, that is the number one thing I wish I would see a lot more cops take 5 seconds to please do, is just explain, because people, lack of information, uncertainty, and unknowing makes people freak out. You know the saying, people are afraid of things they don't know. Well, it applies a lot in these situations. So what I've seen a lot of times where I do see good de-escalating and good police communication and good interaction with the public is officers that take a minute to explain to somebody what is going on. And what I see happen about 8 times out of 10 doesn't always work. Some people are going to go off no matter what. But 8 times out of 10, I see the person who is agitated, who is upset, calm down. Once they know what is going on, once they are being given a reasonable explanation and they are being heard and their concern is being addressed, they will calm down and be like, okay, thank you for explaining. Now I understand, and I will wait over here while you deal with this. I don't think it is asking too much for police officers or any first responder or other professions as well, because other professions are just as guilty. I don't think it's asking too much that people explain what is going on to somebody who has a right to know. I am not saying like those First Amendment people that just walk up on traffic stops and start filming and demanding to know what's going on. You can arrest those people all day, please do. Because they have no right to know what's going on because it doesn't involve them. Allow me to be very clear. If a situation involves you or a relative, I will extend that to children or other relatives in certain circumstances. If it involves you, yes, I do believe you have a right to know what's going on and that somebody should explain, as long as they're not like in the middle of like an active high-speed chase or something, like within reason. If it is calm enough that one person can take a minute to explain, please do. If you're not involved in the thing, stay away from it. You have no right to know. You can film from over there if you want to, but don't walk up and start shouting questions and demanding to know what's going on. You don't have the right. But this is the first time she is being told anything about why she's being arrested, other than initially being told that it was for disorderly conduct, which, as I explained, I don't see being justified, and I don't think they had. I think they made that up to an extent.
No, you're just
I
saying
just
that.
came from the vet.
Did they say it was wrong?
Nothing was wrong.
Shut up. You're lying then.
Promise.
It was fucking dying.
Okay, two things are wrong here. One, this officer came up and interrupted, which she shouldn't have done when another officer was talking. She should have waited until she was in the cell and sitting, and then spoke to her about the dog, because she knows that the two of them already have beef. So that's why she initially just told her to F off, get away from me, which is understandable. But now she's telling her dog is fine, which I hope is true. But in this emotional state, this woman's not willing to believe her because she didn't hear it from the vet herself. She wants to see her dog, which is understandable. I don't know if I would take the cop's word. I don't think the cop is lying. I think she is telling the truth. And good on her for having called the vet clinic, if indeed she did, and inquired about the dog so that she can tell the owner, hey, your dog's okay. So she's not, mentally freaking out all night thinking that her dog is dying or has died without her. So good on the cop for trying. Half points on the execution.
Came up to me and he was like dying. No, I want to call him and ask him myself, and then you're lying to me.
I understand her wanting to hear it herself. I would too. It's not unreasonable. And now she's getting the hitched breathing that comes with when you're too upset. And yeah.
Do you want a blanket, Stephanie? All right, you gotta go sit down. Go sit down.
See, now all of a sudden he is being reasonable. He's not, using force or dragging her in there, which he could do. He could just push her and shut the door. Honestly, I've seen it. I don't think that would be reasonable because, again,
your dog is fine. Your dog is fine.
you can say she's not getting in the cell, but also they're not telling her to be fair.
Did they take X-rays?
Listen, as long as you cooperate with us right now, we'll make sure that you get back there so that you can get your dog, okay? Okay?
You want the blanket?
Can I have water?
Yes. There's a drinking fountain right there. All you have to do is push the button and it'll come out of the faucet.
No, that's gonna give me diarrhea. Can I have real water? Out of a little.
I can't say I disagree with her there because I've heard people say that, because in the jails it's the toilet and then there's a sink on top of it. It's also like a water fountain, so it's all one water. And I've heard people say that it will make you sick. I don't know if that's true. No, I will say the cop giving her bottled water does kind of lend credence.
No, I do. I always
It does
did.
kind of give credence. It's true.
No.
He's right. She's completely right.
Excited, you are in control. This is ever safe because what?
That has nothing
Oh! Oh, okay. I didn't catch this the first time because yes, the cop is being nice to her here, and again, he gets points here for giving her proper water. I don't like bottled water. I'm against it kind of existing, but in this case, I do say it does kind of say that the cops know that the water in the cell is possibly not the healthiest, and maybe it would make her sick if they're so ready to give out bottled water. But what I'm seeing here is I don't want to say this in too extreme of a fashion, but it's a type of behavior that I see abusive people do. And I'm not calling the cops abusive in that way, but I'm saying the behavior pattern is overreact, get angry, get aggressive, do something you shouldn't do. And then generally the person doing that calms down and they start to feel bad about it. And what do they do when they feel bad about it? They try to make up for it. They do little things. But what they want most is that the person they aggressed on to agree with them that it's their fault. They want the victim to say it's their fault, so then they, the person that did wrong and got aggressive, doesn't feel guilty and doesn't feel accountable. I'm seeing the beginnings of that here. It gets way worse later. But I don't blame her for back-talking him right now. He deserves it. And what he just said seems to confirm what she said. Because she said, you arrested me because of your ego. You arrested me because you didn't like that I was being rude and I was being loud. And it was only when I was rude and loud and your ego was obviously hurt did you ask somebody else if they wanted me arrested, which is not proper for them to do. And only then did he make up this reason to arrest her. And the fact that he has said that has nothing to do with it, that has nothing to do with it twice, says that I think he knows on some level that yes, you arrested her because she offended your ego. And that was that. And you made up the reason why later.
We're gonna issue a citation for disorderly conduct. You cannot go back there. You had
Which
24
could have
hours
done
to
on
wait
the
to
scene.
have your dog picked up, but you
You didn't
can't
have
go get
to
it.
arrest her for this. You could have just written her a citation on the scene, told her she was trespassed, and leave the property.
You have somebody go get
They
it.
could have handled
He
this.
definitely was choking on something. Like, he was like
Okay,
couldn't breathe, and
I understand that, but right now, your dog is okay.
it's
Okay.
not his fault. He's
At this
been
point, just
scared.
Okay,
disengage.
so here's what we'll do. We're gonna take you back to the animal hospital. We're gonna ask them to release the dog. I'm gonna call them and say, hey, listen, we're gonna come back. You are gonna be with us.
This officer proceeds to call the vet to confirm if they're okay with Stephanie returning to get her dog
Big
with officer
points for this,
supervision.
but
They
also it's
confirm
too
that
little,
it's
too
okay
late.
for this one time, but she cannot return after. They also inform the officer that the dog is okay and healthy. The officer returns
Very
to
glad
relay
the
this
dog is
information to
okay.
Stephanie.
We'll start.
Okay, very glad the dog is okay, and good on the cops for saying they'll take her back and arranging that she can pick up her dog rather than having to have somebody else do it because she's been trespassed. However, this is more of what I'm saying. This is trying to make up for doing the wrong thing after the fact. It's trying to undo the wrong thing. I don't think they're doing this just to be nice. I don't think they're doing this just to be helpful. I don't think they're doing this because they're particularly good people. I think they're doing this because they're hoping if they can now placate this lady enough, she might not file complaints against all of them and file a lawsuit against the department, which I absolutely hope she does all of the above.
Talk about your dog. Okay?
What, is he okay?
Dog is perfectly fine.
What did they do to him?
They didn't need to do anything to him.
They didn't even, did they take an x-ray?
No.
What the fuck?
The doctor has
Now-
checked the dog. The dog
So
is
I-
fine. Grab your water, we're gonna get your shoes, we're gonna get you out of here. You leave the blanket.
I just need you to sign this, okay? This is just saying that you're getting your stuff back, okay?
I want to see if all my money's here.
Yep, we had multiple people counted for you, okay? So.
Dude, this is really up.
You signing
It
this
is
is
indeed.
just stating that you're getting all your property back, which is your keys,
Yeah.
your hair ties, and your money.
What did I sign?
It's right there. And then you'll get a copy of this, okay?
All right, your court date is right here, December 12th of 23 at 8:30 in the morning. Also, it's on here,
Wait.
December 12th.
I'm not gonna be here.
Well, you have to be here for that court date.
I won't
It's
be
important.
here.
You'll have to figure it out.
I'm gonna be in Colorado.
Keep that.
Yeah, that's what lawyers are for.
Dude, I can't. It's it's a lie. It's just
Okay.
up, dude. It just pisses me
I
off.
want to
I'm
see
gonna
one
tell you right
thing.
now.
I'm not gonna do it.
Okay, where I'm making note of the timestamp because I want to see one thing. The time code in the upper right. I want to see how long was she there? When did it jump? Oh, and of course YouTube doesn't want to be nice to me and just pop up a window. Of course not. Okay, I know where we are. Let's see. Okay, so when she's first, when they're first interacting with her, it's barely after midnight, I think. Wait, okay. Yeah, because that's in minutes. If I'm reading this right. Or wait, is that 6 o'clock? Okay, so it's counting down. What is it, the time code on this? Oh, it's 2 different videos, that's why. Okay. My brain works, really. Okay, so when they're arriving at the police station, it looks like it's just after midnight. Just 00, it's military time, so it's midnight. So they're in the police station. She gets there about midnight, it looks like. And then if I jump it back to where we were, it is 1 o'clock in the morning now. So she's only there like very, very briefly. Like maybe 45 minutes, it looked like she was sitting in a cell. That is very, very quick to be let out once you've been arrested. That is probably the fastest I have ever seen somebody being arrested, brought to jail, and then released. Which also very much, I'm going to say, counts on my side that the cops know they're in the wrong and they just want to deal with this as fast as possible and get rid of her. But the fact that they're releasing her so fast, again, it just says that this was so unnecessary. This was absolutely unnecessary. None of this had to happen. And they did this because they could. They did this because they wanted to teach this lady a lesson. They wanted to put her in her place. And from what I'm seeing at this point, it didn't work. And good on her. But let's watch the rest. We got about 2 minutes left, so we'll see how this ends.
Get out before I get there.
Good, because I have a person who has potentially a gun on another
Okay.
call. And
Then go
I get the
deal with
call.
that.
So,
Right, and I want to get you done,
yeah.
but I can't do that while you act like
Is
this.
he like killing
Like
people?
what?
Let's go. That's what I
Okay, they're letting her out, and they're still just trying to control and dominate this woman. That's all they're trying to do. I'm sorry, officer. You're letting her go. Shut your mouth. I don't care how she's acting. I don't care what her attitude is at this point. You're letting her go. You're done. But no, you just want the win. You just want her to do what you say one time. So you can. This is what ticks me off. And this is why people call me what they call me. And it's fine. Go ahead. I can take it. And I'll tell you why you're wrong. But this is about the cop wants to be right. He wants to win. He wants his ego soothed. And that's it. You're letting her go. Stop. Just stop. You're done. Whatever excuse you had to bring her down here, you're letting her go. She signed the thing. You're done. Stop running your mouth. And I'm saying that firmly to the cops, not to her. She can run her mouth all she freaking wants to. Again, they are supposed to be the professionals.
want to try to prevent.
And again, officer, if you're saying there's a shooting going on somewhere, please go deal with that. There's 5 other officers here. You don't need to be the one dealing with her. You can go deal with
I
that.
didn't want to deal with this.
Yes, you did. Because you could have not dealt with it.
All right, let's go. I wanna
You
get
could have
get
resolved
your
it
dog,
peacefully.
and then get you out of
You could have written her a citation and had her walk away.
I know, but stop telling me to do shit
Yes.
as I'm doing it.
Stephanie, get in the f***ing car.
See, again, they're just
I'm like
giving
trying to,
attitude
and
here
she's like,
for
"Get in
no
the car," but
reason.
Obviously, like, shut up. Just f***ing let me do it.
Yes.
Stephanie, you're about 2 seconds away from not getting a ride over there.
Sorry.
Stop.
Okay, stop threatening somebody just because you don't like their mouth.
You're like 4 feet tall and you're weak.
Okay, I'm not a fan of making fun of her height.
Your ass.
I would
Like, why the f-
be
you
saying,
even-
like,
Shut up.
you
I can
clearly don't
talk
have
here
the
if I
emotional
want. Did I
ability to be a cop. Not that I do, but there's a reason
Yes,
I'm not a
Mommy,
cop.
You're so scary. Hey, I get it. I'd be a terrible cop. I'd be robbing people. I'd be doing crazy shit. 'Cause
Okay, I don't
get
think
away
I'd be
with it.
that
It
bad,
rubs
but
off
I'd be
on
really
everybody. I
bad.
can't help it. Did that guy shoot anyone? I need to go to my car. Don't touch my dog. I don't give you the right to touch my dog.
I have to go in there.
She can open the
No,
door and
you
he'll run to
don't.
me.
You sure about that?
Absolutely. Can you open the door?
I'll wait until your dog is out here.
But I'm not arrested anymore. You can't
Yeah.
just leave me in here. I don't want him running around out there. It makes me anxious.
Bring him out on the leash.
Okay. Yeah, but I'm not arrested.
Yeah,
you have to
therefore
let me
open
out
the
now.
door. Okay, she should not have had to point out to the officer that she's no longer under arrest. So yeah, if she says, let me out of the car, you let her out of the car. She has the right to go to her car. The vet's office said she could come pick up her dog and then leave and not return. So let her out of the damn car. Let her get the dog. Watch while she gets the dog and gets in her car and then leaves. And officer, you know what you need to do? You need to stand there and keep your mouth shut right now. Because you know this person has a problem with you. So anything you say to her is just going to make her backtalk you. So the good thing to do right now is just be silent. You've already let this person go and you arranged for her to pick up the dog. The issue's resolved. You could have resolved it in the parking lot this way like 2 hours ago. Oh, and also look at the timestamp from inside the car. When they were first arresting her, it was like 6 o'clock. I don't know why these two timestamps are 6 hours off each other, but it's the same. So we can tell this whole ordeal wound up taking about an hour and a half. So this video is 16 minutes long and we're missing about an hour. If what is in that hour changes things and it ever comes out, please send it to me. I'll react to this again. And if I change my opinion, I will say so at the time. But from what I'm seeing here, all we have here are cops trying to undo something wrong that they did while continuing to do more wrong. I do not give them brownie points because they let her pick up her dog or anything like that, because they could have resolved this
When
peacefully
Stephanie
in the
was
first
reunited
place.
with her dog, the officer told her to grab him and leave the premises. Stephanie then states that he still needs help, to which the
I really
officer
hope her
told
dog's
to find
okay.
a different animal hospital due to her being trespassed. Stephanie was charged with disorderly conduct. She is innocent until proven guilty
Yeah.
in a court of law.
On the afternoon of
well-
July
Oops, did not mean to do that. Okay, we're going to disconnect the screen. Okay, final thoughts. She was charged with disorderly. I think that's absolute BS unless I see somebody or some kind of proof of it. If the cops are claiming they are the ones she was disorderly against, cops can't be the victim of a crime, and there was nobody else around. So without seeing a statement on body cam or a video from inside the vet clinic, I don't see where they had cause to arrest her. I 100% think they arrested her because they didn't like her attitude. I did not like the cops' attitude. They all get a straight F from me. I hope the appropriate authorities see this video, not mine, the original body cam video, and do something about it. Because if you go back to the beginning, the cops rolled up with such an attitude that, you know, they made it worse from the beginning and then continued to make it worse. They did what they did because they didn't like somebody's attitude, their egos were injured, and they didn't like that somebody wasn't giving blind deference to their authority. Well, welcome to Monday. But they overreacted. I think they knew it, and I think that's why they were trying to, in their own way, be nice to her in the end. But that doesn't make up for the wrong. Doing something nice after the fact or trying to undo the damage that you've done doesn't make the wrong thing become right. So I think these cops were thoroughly out of line. I think they had no cause to arrest this woman and did it purely for attitude reasons. What do you think? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? And please don't just be one of those trolls that just calls me a name in the chat. If you have a real reason that you disagree with me or you think these cops were right, please say so. I would love to hear from you. But until then, I have been Insane Lane. Please like, comment, and subscribe and come back for more soon. Bye.